Fest here. Yeah, Summer making a bit of a cameo appearance for this one, guys. Better turn down the volume just a bit so you could hear me at least. Anyway, hi guys. Welcome to this SummerSlam review. I'm not going to be very around the bush about this, but I'm going to speak as much as I can about this as we go along. But, yeah, I know a lot of people talked about how they enjoyed, a lot of people were saying they thought it was a good show, but me personally, I didn't really enjoy this SummerSlam. There were some matches I didn't mind, but overall I thought it was quite boring and pretty small. Just a whole lot of nothing really happened, really. Other than Roman returning, that was the big return. That's the problem with the main event between Solo and Cody. Everybody was just waiting for Roman's eventual return. So anyway, the show kicked off with Liv Morgan taking on Rhea Ripley. And look, the match between the two of them was not bad. I like seeing them wrestle because I like their matches. I think their matches together are not that bad. But the main issue I have is that their whole feud was around Dominic. That's it. That's what their entire feud was all about. Their entire feud was all about Dominic, and that's what I hated about this whole match. If Dominic was a non-factor, if Dominic was not a factor at all, I guarantee you the match would be a lot better, and I guarantee you I'd be telling you how good the match was. And also, I think Rhea Ripley, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but Rhea Ripley has probably become the first person to kick out of the Oblivion, because I don't remember anyone else kicking out of it. Maybe Becky has done it before. I really don't remember any other time someone has kicked out of the Oblivion, but yeah. If you take out Dominic, out of the equation, I think Liv and Rhea's feud could be so much better, but, it's always, as we all know, Dominic has to be a spotlight hog. And everything has to be about him nowadays. Which is so, stupid, you know what I mean? I hate it. I hate it. So, the matchup was good, but the ending was so predictable. A lot of us knew that was going to happen. Dominic turns on Rhea and joins up with Liv. Obviously, we a lot of us knew that was gonna happen. Good match aside, Dominic being there just really ruined the match for me. We then had Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. I thought that match was also fine. It wasn't as good as their Money in the Bank one. Braun Breaker is the new Intercontinental Champion, and the excuse that WWE gave to why they didn't have Braun Breaker win at Money in the Bank is that they wanted him to win it on a bigger stage like SummerSlam. Don't get me wrong, winning your first title on a major pay-per-view isn't a bad thing, but also, not every title change needs to happen on a big show, you know what I mean? Tonight was just full of title changes. Other than 2. LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the United States title, and I did not watch a single bit of this match. All I cared about is if LA Knight really won the match, and he did. Good, they made the right decision. The funny thing about Logan Paul, and this is actually quite hilarious to me, that I've been seeing a lot about this, a lot of this on social media about Logan Paul, and I don't get it. I've seen a lot of people say, you don't have to like Logan Paul as a person. This is what I've been hearing people say. You don't have to like Logan Paul as a person, but you have to like him as a wrestler. Or, like, oh, and that's one thing I've heard. And the other thing I heard was, who cares about his personal life? Logan Paul is a great wrestler. And I'm just like, excuse me, what? Like, Logan Paul is a complete and utter douchebag in real life. He's a scum. He's a scumbag. Scams people for money, and he scams people for money, and all the other stuff I've heard he's done. He also got banned from going to Japan because he did something bad over there. Like, seriously. He's such a scummy person. He's such a scummy person. And then people got the goal to say, oh, you don't have to, who cares about what he's done in his personal life? He's a great wrestler. I think Tessa Blanchard would like to have a word with all of you. Remember Tessa Blanchard? Remember all the shit that she did? And one bad comment that she made basically cost her wrestling career. She's now wrestling in CMLL in Mexico. She was destined for greatness to possibly be in WWE or AEW. And one bad comment that she made cost her everything. This man, Logan Paul, talked shit about transit people being in the Olympics. But no, we should respect him as a wrestler. GTFO, man. GTFO. Are you people serious? No. I'm not going to respect him as a wrestler, and I sure as hell don't like him as a person. Seriously. The guy is scum. That's what he is. As I said, I didn't pay a single attention to this match, because all that mattered to me is if LA Knight won, and he did. Good. Hopefully now, we can get a decent run with the United States title that actually revolves around someone actually defending the title and not doing nothing with it. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins as the referee, and this was one of the only few matches I was sort of interested in, but also not really. Like, this is CM Punk's first singles match since returning. Imagine being back. Now, I know he got injured, but CM Punk has been back, since November. Nearly a year, possibly 8 months at this point. Yeah, roughly 8 to 7 months at this point. And only now he finally has his first singles match. Now, I know he was injured before any of you smart Alex tell me, well, he was injured. Before any of you smart Alex try to tell me he got injured, which is why that was not the case. But who's to say that Punk wasn't gonna, who's to say, huh? We know Punk was supposed to wrestle at WrestleMania and all that, but really, we had literally had to wait so long just to see this guy wrestle. Seth Rollins was the referee of the match, and I have to be honest with you guys, CM Punk lost this match mainly because he was too damn focused on his silly necklace that has become the centerpiece of the story, because Seth Rollins was wearing it, and CM Punk noticed Seth wearing it, and the two of them kind of started a shoving contest. So in reality, CM Punk lost this match because he couldn't stay focused and he was letting his emotions get the better of him, and that silly necklace that he had. One thing that keeps driving me crazy is WWE just flat out refuses to say the name of CM Punk's wife. They keep saying CM Punk's wife's name. They keep saying CM Punk's wife is on that necklace. The necklace that has CM Punk's wife on it. And all that stuff. I'm like, you do know she has a name, WWE. You do know she has a name and she used to work for you. So I don't know why they keep not refusing to say her name. But they have no problems. They don't hesitate to say Ronda Rousey's name and everybody else that are not in the company anymore. But CM Punk's wife is all you can say whenever it comes to CM Punk's wife, AJ Lee. Like, seriously, it's pathetic. It's disgusting and pathetic that they just will not say her name by name. They will not acknowledge her by name. It's ridiculous. So Punk lost the match, Drew won with the Claymore, and Seth Rollins counted the 3. Nia Jax versus Bayley, and oh my god, where do we start with this garbage? The only real highlight was Bayley managing to powerbomb Nia Jax. Like, I thought that was impressive. But other than that, Nia Jax is the new WWE Women's Champion. Great. That's just great. This is exactly what we need in the year 2024. We need more Samoans. We need more Samoan champions. Bad enough that we got Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, but now we need more. Need more Samoans. Need more Samoan people as champion because this company doesn't know better. Now, I know I said that I didn't see Bayley leaving SummerSlam as the champion, and obviously I was proven right. I said it didn't matter if it was Tiffany cashing in or if it was just Nia Jax beating her. I didn't see Bayley leaving SummerSlam as the champion. And the thing that I hate the most, and the thing is, this title reign of Bayley wasn't even that great. It wasn't even that fantastic. 118 days. Bayley wasn't really much of a reign, if you ask me. It wasn't really much of a reign. I prefer her SmackDown Women's title reign, where she was champion for 381 days. I'd rather that. I'd take that title reign over this crappy one. Like, seriously. It was just not very good, in my opinion. Next we get Damian Priest versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And look, I understand why people didn't want Gunther to win the championship. I do. I thoroughly understand where they were coming from when I heard people saying they didn't want him to win the title. But I wasn't really all that fond of Damian Priest as champion either. I didn't really... Not saying I didn't take him seriously. It's more the fact I just didn't really like him as champion. To me, he's not really main event worthy. He's not really main event material. But I also understand why people didn't want Gunther to win. Because the guy went from being Intercontinental Champion, lost it at WrestleMania, and then literally 3 months later, he's now World Heavyweight Champion. So, I understand that from that standpoint. But ultimately, I knew this was going to be the outcome. Like, I knew Gunther was going to become World Champion. And Finn Balor costing Damian Priest the title was just a foregone conclusion at this point. So, I felt like, well, all signs is pointing to Gunther, winning the title. And I feel like the only reason why they gave him the title is because of that Bash in Berlin show that's coming up at the end of the year, now, at the end of the month. Now, I'm not saying Gunther's going to be a transitional champion. No, I don't think he's going to be at all. But that's the other big problem with Gunther, is that every time he holds a title, he's going to hold it for a really, really long time. My only hope, my only thing here is that I wish maybe Triple H doesn't have Gunther champion for too long. Maybe just have him champion until next year's WrestleMania. So I can't say I'm really all that fond of Gunther being a champion again, because it's Gunther's gonna end up becoming one of those wrestlers that the fans are gonna get really, really sick of really, really fast. Don't get me wrong, I do like Gunther, but I think fans are gonna get really, really sick of him really, really quickly because of how they've been booking him as of late. So I feel like Triple H, he has like this really nasty habit of just pushing people like bloody crazy and all that. So the main events, the absolute boring main event that was Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa in a Bloodline Rules match. Like, the only reason this match was Bloodline Rules, it was just to set up Roman Reigns' return. That's all it did. That's all it did. There was literally no other reason why they made this match a Bloodline Rules match. It was so boring. So boring. Easily the worst main event I have ever watched in my life. I have watched a lot of terrible main events, but this is by far one of the worst main events I think I've watched. This was garbage. Jacob Fatu possibly injured his ankle. Jacob Fatu's possibly injured. He hurt his ankle while doing a splash through a table. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens came back because Arn Anderson said he had friends, and funny how when Arn Anderson said that, people started speculating that Goldust was gonna make an appearance. I'm like, no, it's gonna be Randy and Kevin. It's gonna be Randy and Kevin. Like, who else did you think it was gonna be? Seriously? Did you really think Ricky Starks or anyone from AEW was gonna be appearing? Like, come on, don't be silly. It was gonna be Kevin and Randy. So, yeah, atrocious main event. All it was doing was setting up the eventual Roman Reigns return. Roman Reigns returned, speared Solo Sikoa, and pretty much helped Cody Rhodes retain the WWE Championship. Terrible, 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 terrible.